Welcome to the Nations Cup, everybody! The group stage has finally started, and today we are looking at Italy versus Belgium, amongst other games. It's going to be a lot of fun. There will be a couple of stomps in the group stage, as you can probably expect, but this Nations Cup is very different from the previous one that we had at the beginning of the year, because previously teams, when all of this started, the last Nations Cup, HGC was actually still on, and the rule set for the qualifiers and everything was simply that HGC players are not allowed to join the Nations Cup. So we had a lot of new talent come through here, Tai being a good example, who's played for Granite Gaming since and is now with Lauber's fan club, and probably one of the best assassins that we currently have in Europe. But now that HGC is dead, as Blizzard gave the competitive scene of Heroes of the Storm the boot, we're actually looking at lineups where former HGC pro players can play, and that is going to have an effect for a lot of teams, Sweden being one example, Germany another, but obviously there's way more. And today we're going to look at a few of those as well, but now we're focusing on Italy versus Belgium. That's actually interesting because Belgium comes into this and says from the get-go, yeah, we might not really make the biggest impression here. At least that's what Camembert said in the chat earlier. He's like, I hope you casters have a little bit of filler content here, because this is not going to take long. Sounded a bit more that he expects defeat, more so than that it was a ballsy statement where he says like, yeah, it's going to be a quick 2-0 for us. But we'll see how it turns out. For now, we have, in terms of bans, Alarak and Hanzo banned out, Junkrat and Melganis go too, and Fury locks down Johanna immediately. He's the captain for Italy. Fury obviously playing for Granite Gaming previously, and therefore there's actually quite a couple of players on the side of Italy that have experience here, but especially having a leader like Fury is obviously going to help them. Kel'Thas and Garrosh. Now, I come back to my point that I made originally. While we are in the group stage, there will be all kinds of levels of play that we're going to see here, and you can already tell by just looking at the drafts now. Kel'Thas, not traditionally on the highest level of play, a pick on Infernal Shrines. He is very, very rarely picked regardless, but when he makes an appearance, it's usually farther down in the draft. So at this point, it's already a bit revealed. Then again, we also have to throw the little caveat that even in the last Nations Cup, we had some very specific heroes drafted from certain regions. Russia, for example, drafting a few out-of-the-box heroes that really made an impression for them. They played a lot of Stitches, which is something that we also don't really see on the highest level of play. Even in the past with HGC, we saw Stitches only rarely, sometimes from Dignitas or Fnatic, but generally speaking, he wasn't really like a go-to pick for a lot of the teams. But either way, the Ana combo with Jaina, so nano boost for the mage. And in terms of bans, we finally have the supports targeted. Now, Rhaegar is still up, could be picked here. Obviously, since it is Infernal Shrines, Alexstrasza becomes an option too. There's other supports that we could theoretically talk about, but those would be the two at the top of the list that you can expect. But then again, there is, of course, this factor of preference pick. What is Belgium going to try and pull off here? And well, for now, with a double pick, we're going to get a lockdown into Lulcio. Alright, Lulcio and Li Ming. I didn't really expect the Lucio factor with this. Lucio, in my opinion, not really a hero that does a whole lot for you there. I like him when you're drafting a macro composition. When you're going, for example, into Grey main pick, when you're trying to play around with Sylvanas, anything that can really take down structures, and you're trying to play more of a macro style than an objective-focused teamfight style. Lucio is very heavily hinging on his ability to drop a good sound barrier. But if that's going to be enough, that's a big question now. Zeratul comes in together with Jaina, so since this is not quite top teams here, there is a good chance that we see Void Prison into Ring of Frost, even though when you look at the highest level of play, that hasn't really been the case in Europe for quite some time. Still getting played, by the way, in North America a little bit. And we have Malthael on the side of Italy as well. Alright, and what is Belgium going to go for their last pick? They need an offlaner. And it is going to be Leoric. All shot Swiffer. You got it, bro. Okay, with that, game number 1 is set, and we are heading straight into Infernal Shrines, the first map in the best of 3 series, Italy versus Belgium, ladies and gentlemen. Game on, ladies! And there's a little bit of a switch on the side of the red team. Belgium actually playing with Vala over Liming. Gonna talk about this in just a second, how that came to pass, but let's first introduce our players here. On Inferno Shrines, our first map on the left side, Elite Sparkle with Malthael, Sigurd on Zeratul, Moldavios on Jaina, Fury on Johanna, and Alex on Anna. For Belgium, we have Chanel on Kalthas, Camembert on Garrosh, Silesium on Vala, Tikenai on Lucio, and Acid on Leoric. So apparently during the game or during the draft, they mispicked Liming and they wanted to pick Vala instead. They immediately announced it. Italy said like, yep, no problem. The admin okayed it too. And they just finished the draft out with everybody knowing what was actually drafted there. And then once the draft was over, they swapped the hero out and now we're good to go. So absolutely no problem. Everybody was on board with it. No drama here. And therefore we're heading not into a double mage composition for the red team, but actually still a really strong hero in the case of Vala. The Liming pick was a little bit strange. First of all, they're already running Kaltha, so that's one part of it. And the second is that Liming isn't really the go-to hero on this map in the first place. When we're talking about builds, we look again at the Shadow Hunter on level 1 for Zeratul. And yep, Sigurd already moving in, trying to attack the top as it seems. A bit of a throw from Camembert, but Johanna is pretty okay into Garrosh since she has the Iron Skin that can work around that. So we're gonna see how this is working out. Top side, as we're having Zeratul sneaking around slightly, seeing if he can maybe focus a bit more on Leoric. And yep, they're getting good damage in, and Acid goes down. Gonna be back pretty quickly, obviously, but that's an early kill for the Italian team, and that should be a good start for them, especially since they're now also focusing on their mercenary camps here. A 1-0 lead early on in this one, and let's see what else we can actually get from this. Also, since we're still in the early game and teams are only focusing on the few mercenary camps that we have, a bit of a public service announcement here too, since people are oftentimes asking, especially on YouTube, when exactly these live streams take place. I'm pretty happy to announce that by now I have also a website where you can check the schedule and what else is going on if you want to catch some of those live streams, especially of course when we're talking about tournament streams. So if you want to head over to khaldor.tv and check that out, you can now do that and see if you can watch these things live instead of relying on YouTube videos or when exactly the next live stream is. Lucio barely getting out in this case. The camp is taken by Italy. The early level 4 talent for them is helping them. And you can already tell that there's a little bit of a discrepancy between experience. Actually, it's not a little bit of a discrepancy, it's a pretty big one. It's just a better rotation that we currently have from the Italian team, making sure that they're not missing out on any experience on the map, and that really matters, as you can tell. A 1-0 lead this early in the game is pretty huge, and the early level 4 talent allowed them to get the bottom camp, since Belgium was obviously not willing to go for the fight there. So they pretty quickly just said, yep, that ain't happening. And the bigger problem is that this is looking more and more like Italy will grab a level 7 talent as they're heading into the shrine or during the shrine phase. And if they stall out enough time for that, then this would give them a huge advantage. And right now, Belgium, their play would have been to go immediately for the shrine and try and maybe complete it or at least get very far before level 7 becomes a threat. But they literally give the opportunity to Italy to get ahead here. So now Italy has a ton of options. They can either just fight this out, they can just retreat, wait for that half level to come in for level 7. They have tons of options since they're massively in the lead with 23 against 2 stacks at this point. That's a big problem for Belgium, despite the fact that they're having an enormous amount of wave clear in this game. Also, camp was only taken by Italy, which means the Shamans do solid damage at the top against the wall now. And that's additional experience for them. The problem is that Malthael goes down, and that's a nice kill picked up by the Belgium team. Mortar Punisher still secured. Italy might have been able to only go for 39 stacks out of the 40 and wait for Malthael to come back. This way, it's actually an easy defense for Belgium, but this should still send another hero topside to help out Leo, who has to deal with his 4-man push that's currently being set up. But that's definitely one of those little... Ooh, yeah, and that's exactly why you need someone else to help Leo out, because he just can't handle all that much pressure here. Acid going down for the second time. Okay, So, let's see. Here comes the attack. Level 7 talents are in. With this, we also have now Seeker in the dark available for Zeratul. Malthael is at the bottom of the map, rotated down, and is trying to get additional XP. And just look at this. This is a disaster for Belgium. Belgium is losing a lot of experience here. Could have lost, by the way, more if that second tower was still in place, but it isn't. So it's actually still manageable. They lost like 4 minions. But these small advantages just add up as time continues, and of course that also did a fair amount of damage to the wall itself. So at this point, Burn Flesh on level 7 for Malthael, the quest complete on level 1 for Zeratul, meaning cooldown reduction is now becoming a real deal for him. Also the attack against Camembert, and he might just be able to get away here. I'm just kidding. What the fuck? Single-digit HP on Zeratul, hashtag calculated. The IQ 200 play right there. He calculated it through real quickly and was just like, 7 HP, yeah, that's still more than 0. I go for the play. Pulls it off, gets the kill, gets out, and now we have 3 kills against 1. Well done, well done. Acid at the top lane, still having a bit of trouble here, and Malthael is not kidding around. I'm a little bit afraid that Malthael might be able to farm Leo to a certain extent once that he has his last rights and get some serious stacks on the level 10 ability. So that could happen. At this point though, lead is enormous. Entire level, they can put the pressure onto the structures. It could be a bit more, as I said, if they played the objective a little bit differently. And after the death of Malthael, stalled it out slightly, but they have level 10 abilities regardless with the might of the Nerazim. So no Void Prison Ring of Frost set up. Again, we don't see that as much in Europe anymore. And they're going for the camp! Lulcio is actually helpful for a change, look at that. He secured them the camp with a quick boop there, not bad. But with level 10 abilities in their hands, this is the question of what can Italy actually do with that? Are they going to try and push something here? Are they maybe going to make a play for the top fort? Or are they just happy to sit tight now? Because there's nothing else to take on the map. It's no mercenary camp. All of them have been claimed already. So top side, that's where the next shrine is announced, and it seems like they won't be able to do anything with this. I could have really seen them go for a big invade on the top fort, trying to take this one down before the shrine activates. The fountain is already destroyed, which gives them an advantage on the top no matter what happens here. But at the same time, heroic abilities are now available for both teams, and obviously that means Belgium has a solid chance of fighting back into this battle. This is still the group stage with best of 3, so we have 4 groups with 4 teams in the group stage, and well, only the top 2 will advance. At this point, still having our setup with a slight lead for Belgium. Wait, what? I think Lucio just fat-fingered his ult. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but that ult was pretty much pointless. And now Vala is down. She's not the only one. That's a double kill. First stack for Malthael acquired. Kalthas falls too, and they're not stopping there. With the nano-boosted Malthael, they're just going straight in for the kills. Get an easy triple out of that. And move back up to the shrine. But I'm heavily confused what just happened. I mean, seriously, that looked like Lucio just fat-fingered his ult. I don't believe for a single second that he intentionally was trying to use it there, because there was no real reason. I mean, this was a 1 versus 1 if anything. Now we're having Acid in trouble as well. Sigurd already missing straight out. But topside the fort is down. Camp alone already took that away. And with that, the chance to move straight in for, well, maybe not quite a keep, but they should be able to get the wall destroyed here. And level 13 would help them as well. Zeratul is the one that rotates around here. Yeah, and the Italians, they are currently doing extremely well on the first map. 6 kills against 1. That isn't bad at all. Now even trying to stop the rotation here as the Punisher is coming in. And someone has to bait that bad boy over the wall. And it seems like it's going to be Garrosh, yeah. Well, there's the jump. They're trying to go through the small wall here, apparently. So far, not quite successful. I don't think that the keep can really be threatened. The Punisher, this early in the game, doesn't really do enough yet. But they can definitely start to attack the wall a little bit and maybe make a rotation into the middle to take the fort down. And they're trying to go for Acid here. It's a little bit half-hearted. Again, Italy is doing really well, but if we're nitpicking a bit and criticizing him here too, then they had two options. Either commit more to the top lane and at least break through the wall, or go for the fort in the middle and destroy that. They chose neither. But they still get the kills. Now, for this game, I really think they're definitely the heavy favorite here. We talked about this in the draft. But let's be honest for just a second, against a better team, you have to be a bit more decisive in the decisions that you make. So if they're going up against an opponent that is on their level, then they need to make that choice if they want to go for the fort in the mid lane a bit earlier, or instead try to attack the top lane. Obviously, since the Nations Cup is just now starting up with that group stage, there's a lot of time for them left. But these are things where we need to see some improvement in the future if they want to be able to go up and be victorious against teams that are on their level of play. Because right now, Belgium, I mean, they're trying, but they're having a really, really rough time to get kills in. They only got one so far, and things are just not looking good. They lost every single fort to them. And yeah, that means that objectives are going to be rough to take, since there's no fountains in the middle of the map anymore that they could possibly pre-tap before they're heading into a fight. The bottom of the map, this is where we're going to see the next one spawn. And outside of just simply the structures that we have in the game, another problem is obviously the 2-level advantage that we now see for Italy. And that's another huge problem. I mean, at this point, might as well a level 16 talent that comes in after we have the shrine announced. In terms of damage, we're painting a similar picture. Zeratul with 16,000 is currently the top damage in the game. Doing quite well here. And Belgium is trying to circle their wagons a little bit, going for their own camps whenever they can. They could have maybe tried to force a fight before the level 16 talent is ready for their opponent, but even that would have been a bit of a stretch. So now they just have to hope that they can get a quick kill. They were able to do that earlier against Malthael. With a good setup from Garrosh, there's definitely a chance that they can pull that off. Fury at the front with the iron skin is dodging out all of it quite easily, and now Garrosh is on the run. Even Vala is trying to help out here. But there's this level 16 talent now for Italy. Italy just a little bit too far ahead at this point. And on 16, interestingly, we have the sentenced to death. Alright, so not something that you see all that often for Zeratul here, but a bit of a variation. I mean, again, we will see a lot of those during the Nations Cup. And here's the moment of truth. The shrine is activating in the mid lane. And this could be rough. This could be very, very rough right now. It depends a little bit on Lucio. I mean, he YOLO'd out his ult last time when the first 1 versus 1 started, so it was a bit too early. I don't really think that they should do that right now. Oh, Vala is actually in trouble. It's still safe, then Zeratul is down. That's exactly the setups that they need. Sigurd a little bit too... Oh, that might be the second kill. Sigurd just... I don't really know why we are seeing these sound barriers for no reason. I mean, yes, there's a fight, but you literally are the ones ganking an opponent, and the tank is not going to kill anybody. So Lucio really has to work on those timings a bit, but they get the kill. They have 2 kills against 1 now, so this is kind of what they needed. YOLOing out the heroic ability of Lucio again is maybe not the play here, but the kills are still real, and that is awesome for them. Italy now made the mistake that Sigurd apparently felt too comfortable against the opponent, went in too deep, got punished, and then shortly after, they can trap Fury. So all of a sudden, we're looking at a setup where even without the level 16 talent, they have the lead. 24, currently against 10. And they have a realistic chance to go for the objective. Up at the top, this camp, on the other hand, is pushing towards the keep itself. Johanna is now back in just a moment, but the AoE is definitely on the side of Belgium, and even with some outside poke, they should be able to secure this one. Camembert comes in, lets the top vulnerable. Yeah, there's the Frozen Punisher, and last rights, but no kill. The 2 stacks is all that Malthael can hold for now. But someone needs to deal with this shit. Someone needs to head over here and make sure that this is actually working out for them. So, yep. Acid is being attacked there. I love how everybody just ignores that Punisher that's walking through the mid. That's a good sound barrier. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. But Lucio still falls. Was apparently trying to go for the boot. But the double kill as a result. Nice. baited in, and Vala doesn't fuck around, gets the kills. Now the counter kill against Garrosh though. The top keep is heavily under pressure. Finally the catapult is eliminated. 5 kills against 11. And the Punisher is sitting in the middle and is saying like, hey, if nobody takes care of me, I'm gonna start to kill shit here. So Leo has fallen. The blue team wants the keep, and it seems like they're going to grab this one. Keep down. 16 versus 16 now on the opponent's side with a Mithril Mace for Leo. He actually went full on into that build with 13 and 16. And the Punisher is still YOLOing over here. He's just saying, boys, I got this. I got this. Distract them. Don't let them come back. I got your back. Now it's at least 16 talents on both sides. I love that Anna is the one coming back and saying like, don't worry, I'm going to defend this. My massive wave clear is going to take care of it. But yeah, so the wall has fallen. So they get a fort destroyed, the wall is down, they're a little bit close in experience, 12 kills against 5 at least. And I mean, they get those kills. Sigurd needs to be a bit careful. He had some great moments in this game, but if you get overconfident, then you can quickly get punished. And that's exactly what happened to them. And you do that one more time, and all of a sudden we're talking about an absolutely even game. So Belgium definitely trying to look for opportunities to come back into this. Zeratul is already setting this up at the side. A little bit of outside poke. Anna the only one that hasn't died yet. Another camp in the mid lane. The red team is getting one too. And we're seeing also Zeratul chased again. 26,000 damage by now on Vala, which puts her into the slot of the top damage dealer in the game. 2 catapults already, top side, in the middle. The camp is working at the wall together with the catapult, and everybody else is fighting at the bottom of the map over an additional camp, which has been taken by Belgium. And Belgium could look for another fight here. They're going for Fury. It's nearly level 20 for Italy. If you don't fight now, when are you gonna fight? That's the big question. Then again, early on, they were also able to get the kill against an opponent that had a level 16 talent advantage over them. Unstoppable again used by Fury. Zeratul has dealt with some of the wave clear in the middle. Still sitting tight here. Okay, Vala trying to connect any skill possible, but that's not working. Now we're having with 3 catapults also the core attacked. Shouldn't really take any damage since the shields are still pretty okay. With Leo moving in, I don't have any worries for them. But here's the level 20. No one can stop death. Wintermute. The Twilight falls, and Blessed Shield gets upgraded as well as Nano Boost. 2 level lead, and level 20. And that allows them to easily take the camp. So they come in for the camp, they take this right away, and let's see what else they can actually pull out here. 1.5 levels is what's missing. Sound barrier used again, super early, but needed. And the kill still comes through against Garrosh as he gets attacked here. Never even completed his level 1 quest. A second kill as Leo falls. Lulcio is lulling around a little bit, but it's not enough to keep himself alive. With catapults now moving through, the camp taken, it seems like this is going to be the end of game number 1. Italy tries to go for the core here. Malthael is getting a bit murdered, but he's sitting comfortably still at half HP. But they might not be able to finish that now. There's a lot of counter poke happening from Kalthas and Vala. The core is losing some hit points, but not too many. And with the 5-man, they're just realizing, boys, let's play it safe. And oh, so much for safe. Screw safe. 1 down. Zeratul, what the fuck? Goes in for the double kill. The playmaker right here. Yeah, he got caught earlier and was destroyed as the 16 fight was looming ahead, but now he definitely redeemed himself quite easily. Comes in with a big boy double kill and shreds Belgium. Easy peasy right there. Throws a couple of pizzas in their face, and that hurt. So now we're actually having the opportunity to end the game with the Punishers. They're going straight in for that. Down to the bottom. Comes taken. At least grab 20 for yourself. Is probably what they're thinking here. And now you need to be careful. Now you're overdoing it a little bit. He's just looking at it like, wait a second. Can I maybe kill all of them? I don't think we're that fine yet. But there it is. 17 against 5. And let's go. That Punisher might be their demise. We have Fury defending the catapults. And going straight for the spray game. Zeratul is still looking at the position, but you can tell there's no level 20. Ah! Nice, get wrecked. Yeah, they were waiting for him. They know that Zeratul was just incredibly far out the entire time. And now they all of a sudden have level 20. And it's a 5 versus 4. They might be able to defend here. Sound barrier comes out. Nicely done this time. Okay. I'm on board, but they're all low and they're in trouble. And Leo is down. Leo is down. Everybody else is rushing towards the core. And Italy wants this one. Italy comes in. And they are taking them down easy peasy. Smooth as spaghetti carbonara. Well, so you might think. But with the death of Johanna, they're actually moving away again. And then they're realizing, wait a second, we're 19 minutes into this game. This Punisher's actually doing a shit ton of damage. We might be able to get the core after all. Yeah, but the Blizzard doesn't connect with it. Here we go, 30%. Someone has to take that catapult down and nobody does. They're only focusing on the heroes. The catapult does more. And they save it with 15%. Come on, Bear was the one who finally realized that the catapult was one of the biggest problems. And he throws it away. Came a bit late, but still, the move was there. 18 kills against 8 now. And we have 15 points on that core. Nicely done. Alright, this is getting fun. This is getting real fun. Yeah, Belgium just said, listen guys, we don't really think we can hold a candle to the Italian team, but they are definitely trying. I mean, nothing to lose here. So yeah, they're throwing it out. And Italy, I said it before, they're a bit hesitant in some of the shot calls. And again, early in the group stage, there's obviously a lot of space still to improve. But those are calls that you have to make. Either you go core right away or you back off. Zeratul takes another camp. He's being hunted down a little bit. The only one that hasn't fallen yet is Anna. Shocking, I know. Yeah, that's also a bit of a problem. Khaldor goes down, but I'm also worried about what's happening with the Keep. We might see more heroes fall as Zeratul comes in and tries to get those. Keep is nearly eliminated. Sound barrier doesn't even connect with Vala, and she gets wrecked. Vala gets wrecked. The Keep is about to fall, and I think with 15% on the core, this is the end right here. Then again, I already thought that twice, and it was wrong on both accounts. So there's Leo. Okay, Leo is down. So is Lulcio. Someone please kill that Keep. Thank you. And there we have it. 22 kills to 8. And Italy takes the victory on the first map Inferno Shrines in this best of 3 series against Belgium. GG. Well played by the Italian team. Towers of Doom, and we're heading into game number 2. Italy in the lead against Belgium. Now in this group stage there is 4 groups with 4 teams each. And again, as I said, you can go to khaldor.tv if you want to check out the schedule of when those additional matches are being played. But there's also a news article that showcases the 4 groups if you're interested to see which nation or which group your nation, for example, is in. But yeah, it's actually going to be a lot of fun. I gotta admit that the first series or the first map here, there are obviously in the group stage a lot of differences of skill level. But I have to admit that it was kind of fun to see how Belgium was just clawing their way back into that game and getting quick kills against Italy. And there's definitely a couple of macro problems on the Italian side, but as I said, it's the first day of the group stage. There's a lot of time for them to figure all of this out. Interesting to see a ban against the Vikings actually on this map. Now I'm a little bit disappointed that Vikings were actually banned, because if that is a counter ban, I would have loved to see Belgium rocking it with the Vikings. I haven't seen them in a while. And that brings me obviously to the next point, since this is not necessarily yet the highest level of play. Once we're looking into the semi-finals, quarterfinals, or the grand final, it's going to be a bit of a different story. There's going to be a lot of former pro players in those teams. But right now, there is definitely a chance that we're going to see a curveball thrown every now and then with a pick that you might not have imagined there. I mean, UK, for example, in last Nations Cup played a ton with Probius, as someone pointed out in the chat earlier. And they did surprisingly well, up to a point. But it was interesting to see that, at least. So now we have Alarak banned and Abatha too. But what else are we going to get rid of? It's Ana again. Alright, Ana gets banned out, and now on towers, a big map. Fury locks down Zeratul right away. Alright, so the Zeratul player is already here. I'm still expecting some kind of global presence, Falstad, Dehaka, maybe even some Moro. Yeah, well, there's Dehaka. That was a quick one. And what are we getting together with him? Rega! Alright, no Lulcio this time. The sound barriers got a little bit better towards the end of the game, but especially at the beginning there were definitely a couple of problems. Not sure if he fat-fingered that R button in the first big fight that we had at the top shrine or what exactly happened there, but that was definitely a bit of a waste of a cooldown, unfortunately. Okay. With that said, ooh, Tyrande! Interesting. We don't see her that much anymore after Blizzard moved Celestial Attunement from level 7 to level 16. So these days she is rarely picked, but obviously still works with ETC because you have that follow-up on any stun with her Hunter's Mark on her own stun. But the role is more so taken lately from Malfurion, who can still lay down the lawn and put the roots on the ground and then just lock the target down too. We don't have the Hunter's Mark, but still, he adds a lot there as well. So it's interesting that we actually see Tyrande this time being picked for them. Hanzo gets banned out. And, I mean, you could still focus on the front line. ETC, as usual, can be played in the main tank and an off-tank position, even though I would expect him to be a main tank in this setup. Yeah, there's the Jojo ban, so frontline is getting banned out. I have no real damage dealers just yet taken. I mean, Zeratul is obviously there, but no range damage is yet in play. So we could still see a bunch of mages. This is, for example, also a decent map for Li Ming again. Whereas Infernal Shrines doesn't really give her all that much value. This is a pretty sweet map for her, so let's see if they can actually do something with this. And we're kicking the things off with Jaina. Camembert also going for Garrosh again, as in the last game. And here comes the interesting one. Especially since I kind of want to have another frontliner for Italy, to be honest with you. Because Zeratul doesn't really want to be stuck at the top lane the entire time and rotate. He can, but you still want him to be a little bit more flexible. So I would love for them to have another offlaner here that can help them with the front line. There's the Li Ming pick and Tracer. Oh my god. Li Ming and Tracer with Tyrande? What? I mean, I was talking about Malfurion over Tyrande earlier when we had ETC pick, but now that we see Tracer, the question is really presenting itself even more so. Why not Malfurion? I mean, he's just hands down the best support with Tracer for a reason. That combo has been picked countless times in HGC and since, and it's a bit surprising to see that they are going for Tyrande despite that. But well, we have Jimmy coming through as the last pick, and with that, game number 2 is set up. Belgium hoping to bring this to a game 3, whereas Italy is, of course, trying to get the 2-0 victory over their opponents. Let's see if they can pull it off. Towers of Doom, map number 2 here at the Nations Cup. Game on! Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading into Towers of Doom, and on the left side, Elite Sparkle on ETC with Fury now playing Zeratul. They're actually swapping roles out a bit. Moldavios on Tyrande. We have Alex on Li Ming, and Sigurd is playing Tracer. Bit of a weird setup, I gotta say. On the right side of the map, Belgium with Chanel on Jaina, Acid on Dehaka, Camembert on Garrosh, Silesium on Reyna, and Tikanai is playing Rhaegar. Alright, let's see what they can pull off with this. Definitely the more traditional composition for the red team, but Belgium has been a bit outclassed in game number 1. We have Block Party taken and also Move Unseen at this point. That is an interesting choice for him. Curious to see what we're going to get out of this one. As it stands, there's actually nobody towards the top lane just yet. I guess Dehaka is going to make the moves there eventually. I'm a little bit scared that Dehaka is actually going to use his global to go top side. I mean, why is he bottom in the first place? And also, Garrosh is already dead. That's not a good start for him either. And he will have to use his cool. Yeah, he's actually borrowing top side. God knows why he didn't just walk there in the first place and instead went down to the bottom of the map. Doesn't really seem like a cooldown well used, but either way, we have our little setup here. Jimmy is going to be the one that is trying to put the pressure onto Tracer with the auto attacks. It's always nice to have a good damage dealer against her with auto attacks. I mean, Sergeant Hammer has in the past oftentimes been picked as a reaction to Tracer, because you can't dodge out on that. You can dodge a skill shot, but you won't be able to dodge that in any way. Already, the camps are about to be taken. Rigger, the only one on the red team side that is currently dealing with that. On the blue team, the entire team just going for that, picking up the early experience. And topside still our little battle between Acid and Fury. And so far, Fury is getting the upper hand here for sure. I mean, with this, Sigurd is already sitting tight, where everybody is still moving down to the bottom of the map, trying to also see if they can maybe grab a quick kill. If ETC sets a good power slide off and Toronto follows up on it, they are able to get the damage in with Li Ming. A good combo could go a long way here. But, well, let's actually see how this is going to play out with level 4 talents now being available. And there we have Dominance. Okay, Dominance comes through. Same time, Indomitable on Garrosh, so that's already going to help him a lot, especially against the ETC setup. Yep, there we have it. Throws it out, Sigurd goes in, gets the connect, but they don't get the kill. Orb even connecting, but it's just not enough. Level 4 talent for Jimmy, also interesting. Honestly, I find it interesting. Oh, there's the stun. Fight or flight would have been nice against the Tracer Bomb. But at the same time, with Behemoth armor, if you get a solid amount of stacks, you will increase that hit point pool. Question, of course, as usual with Jimmy, is can he pull that off, yes or no? And yeah, Shrimpy has sometimes taken Behemoth armor in HGC and has tried this for some time. And honestly, I just asked him at some point, I was like, it really doesn't seem like it's a great pick for you. Like, why do you go for it? And the first thing that he said, like, yeah, it's pretty garbage. I wanted to try it and it doesn't really work out for me. So again, once that the level of play goes down a little bit, you might be able to get more value out of it. Generally speaking, though, not a priority pick outside of brawls. Acid is surviving for now. Trade in altars. Actually, the red team was able to grab the one at the bottom of the map, and now the fight here at the top. And that's normally one that you let slide and give up to your opponent, because it's pretty close to a tap option for the red team. But they are trying to fight this one out, and they could get they get good damage in from their damage dealers. Count bear is a bit low though, and everybody has to rush away there. But the fountains are close and can now be used, and the blue team just doesn't have that. So in comes Jaina with a little interrupt attempt, but it comes too late, and they grab it, and they might be able to get a kill too. They barely miss out on the kill against Garrosh, but they have the 2 bell towers or the 2 altars taken, and that gives a lead over to Italy early on in this game. Okay, Dehaka has moved to the bottom of the map again. He's a little bit all over the place. There's a bit... I mean, he gives up his global cooldown a little bit easily, but he's trying to get the experience lead for them. And Belgium has the earlier level 7. Gotta give him that. Earlier level 7 for them. Trying to make the plays here. And start to move straight in for that top camp now too. Talking camps, guess what the blue team's doing? The blue team is just saying, hey, we kind of know where you are. You're topside. You can't really do anything here, and we're going to go for yours. I would love Elite Sparkle to sit in the bush instead of trying to help, because he can't do a lot. You should have that flank ready. They might be... yeah, they might still get the kill, and they do. But again, we're just nitpicking a little bit, more so with future matches in mind than anything else. But it's 2 kills against 0 now. Still elite in experience for Belgium, and this is where the beauty of the Haka comes through, at least to an extent. So they're doing fairly well with catching the lane experience. Also, the Warp Skirmisher. Okay. I mean, the build is really just all over the place now for Zeratul. Warp Skirmisher on level 7, and previously we've seen on level 1 the Move Unseen. So that is neither a cleave build nor the auto attack style that we see with Shadowhunter from players like Ty on Granite Gaming. But yeah, let's see what he can pull off with this. Calamity on level 7 for Li Ming. And that could lead us now to our 4 versus 4. The Haka is bot side. I like that. Now that the objective is called, this is exactly where he needs to be. But nobody's fighting over anything. It's an even exchange in bell tower. In altars, as you normally see here. So he can just push this out slightly. But the rest of the team has to come in to help out with that too. But alright, let's see what else they can pull off. So far, the red team is still looking for a kill, but you look at experience and it's still fairly even. Fury is definitely shredding Acid a bit up to the top. Yeah, he's having some trouble. He's not the only one with trouble though. Come on, Baird is low and down again. Poor Garrosh gets bullied pretty hard there at the front. The entire time they're really homing in on him. Even Zeratul came down and wanted to have some piece of the action here, but arrives too late. Garage is already dead. There's the setup, and nice, done. Well played. Good kill against Reyna. Very well coordinated. Even booping him into the stun of Tyrande. So well played. And this gives us level 10, and all of a sudden they're really starting to crush this, aren't they? First of all, we're having Shadowstalk on level 10. Additionally, Might of the Nerazim and the Mosh Pit. And ETC might be looking for that Mosh Pit pretty soon. Let's see what else we're gonna get here. Zeratul still rotating, trying to get the damage in, and Acid is not having a lot of fun here. There's the drag. Yeah, dodges out. Poor guy. I mean, he dodged out on a lot of that, but he was just not quick enough with that rotation. That's the 5th kill that gets picked up by the blue team. Italy is doing really well. Yep, they are crushing this right now. And Zeratul fits into the Italian team and their playstyle extremely well. Zeratul fits into the Italian team like pineapple on pizza. It's a match made in heaven. So I would already assume that in the future Zeratul is going to occasionally be being banned out against them. But now, they're locked down, and even the Mosh Pit. One of those, well, better safe than sorry plays, and they get the kill, and all that matters. There's the Ancestral on Garish to keep him alive this time, but all of their cooldowns have already been used. And this is a 5 versus 4, and you kind of don't really want to fight this. Fury is currently still dealing with that mid lane, with that bot lane, where the pumpkins are at, but with only 4 heroes in the mix, I highly doubt that Belgium is going to be able to make any headway here. The attack comes, nice dodge by Sigurd, and that's the kill against Garrosh. Well done, and good job. Like sitting right there, gets the shots fired, and that is now 24 points against 32. There we go, alright. Yeah, damage output. I would assume Zeratul, yeah, 17,000 for him, 15,000 for Tracer. Definitely getting this one up as well. Yeah, and with 7 kills against 0, there's just no talking about it any other way. Belgium needs a kill, and they need it quickly. They've done a great job for a long time staying in experience range, but this isn't happening either. I love that the Banshee is actually just like checking out the bushes here. I love that they do that, because that was a bit of a trap setup that could easily have led to a kill or two. But they want to go for bell towers, obviously. I mean, at this point, you really want to control that bot lane so that both of the pumpkin camps threaten the opponent's core directly. And if they can grab this one, that would just be a dream. At level 13 talents, they might have the power. They just need a kill, and they're looking for it. And they barely miss out on dropping Garrosh again. Level 13, once again, the advantage for Italy. The Italian team now with 4 kills against Garrosh. Poor front line. Yeah, that didn't quite work out for him. Indomitable being used. The pressure is still there. I mean, the entire time. If Italy at any point, or if Belgium doesn't pay attention, their bottom bell tower is just going to be toast. And this is a single altar now on the map. This is where everybody just starts to jump in again and looks for a fight, but with half a level missing until level 13, Belgium might not be able to go for it. They haven't really hesitated in the last game to take some of these fights. But I'm not quite sure if it's really going to be advisable for them to try and make this one happen. Well, they get the taunt and they get the kill! Tracer is down! Every time when these situations happen, somehow Belgium is turning up the heat and is able to get an advantage. They lost out on the altar though, they couldn't interrupt the channel, but they at least got the kill. And you gotta give it to the Belgium team. I mean, they're doing what they can here. Now we look at them and we have at least 1 kill in. We have level 13 talents for them. That obviously evens out the talent on the map. Additionally, we're seeing now the debilitating rounds over the giddy up or whatever else they could possibly take here. And let's go. There's a little attack towards Elite Sparkle again, over to the mid lane. Acid and Fury are still fighting around. And interestingly enough, Fury is rotating down. 5 versus 4, baby! They're looking for it, and there is Zeratul taking down the Banshee first. The taunt against 3. with the Warlord's challenge, but no kill, and the Water Elemental is eliminated too. But they get the flip, they go for Lead Sparkle, and despite the fact that he is taking a bit of a beating, he's still able to keep himself alive, and that's all that really matters here for Legacy. But the pressure is there. Quest completed. That's already at least a little bit of a win. Throwing the pumpkin forward. I like that too. Trying to get it into range. That's obviously interaction that you can pull off when you're close to the death zone as well. There's the drag and the kill. ETC is down. And they're looking for the second one. Oh, he doesn't have the challenge yet. With Warlord's challenge here and a good taunt, I think Camembert could have secured a second kill for them by locking Tracer down. But Belgium is fighting back. I love this. This is the cool thing about Belgium here so far. They said from the beginning in the lobby that they don't really think that they are able to hold a candle to Italy, but they're really fighting tooth and nail here, and they're not giving up at any point. They did a decent job in the first map, always had some small comeback moments, and now we're seeing a similar setup on the second map. They get the altar at the bottom, as it is going to try and defend this one. It seems like they're just going for the next camp. And let's see where the rotation is headed. They're going top side to make sure that they can fight for this. 28 against 20. Should be 16 in a second since Zeratul completes the channel. Yep, there we go. Shots are fired. And the team fight is happening now too. There's a mosh pit. Ah, the drag! He interrupted the drag. Did you see that the mosh pit interrupts the Haka's drag half a second later, and this would have turned the entire fight. But as it stands, it's a double kill. Make it a triple. Make it a triple, baby. We're likely looking at a quad kill, and indeed we do. Tikenai, the only survivor here, but that gives another altar over to Italy. They have level 16 talents now, and a massive, massive lead at this point. Kaboom! Shots are fired, and that puts the core down to 12 points. Celestial Attunement is finally in as well, so now we have the double cleanse available. They can push through the bottom of the map if they have a chance here. And let's see. Yeah, camps. Camps. Get the experience, get the push, try and convert the bottom bell tower. 11 kills against 2. Still looking strong with this. And let's see if they can pull this one off properly. Rega going for the bite. Our little Christmas doggy here. Just trying to get some damage in. Yeah, it's interesting. It's the beginning of November and every single shop already has Christmas decorations and Christmas candy and stuff like this. Feels like it's earlier every single year. Honestly, November isn't even that early. I mean, last year I sniffed out a few that had that stuff already in October. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, whatever sells, I guess. 16 talents on both sides now. Red team still fighting, still holding on to this. They're 9 kills behind. They don't care. Only a level disadvantage. We can play around that. And they're trying. They definitely are. It's kind of interesting that not a single bell tower has fallen in this game, but bot lane bell tower for Belgium is looking low. Tracer. Alright, that seems like that was actually a disconnect that was just caught by the Belgium team to get that kill. Can't really blame them on them, but Tracer definitely stopped moving there for just a second. So that's a kill against Tracer. And that puts us on 3 kills onto the Belgium team. But I guess we have to wait until Tracer is back to business. And we're back to business. Tracer has reconnected. Apparently, he lost electricity, which is a problem that Italy and California have in common, as it turns out. But he's back to business right now, so Tracer might be dead, but she's already rejoining here, so everything is good to go. The problem is that there's a double altar on the map, and Tikenai is going for the easy channel at the bottom of the map with 2 seconds left. Seems like Belgium is going to likely get both of those, unless... Nah, Acid is already looking this down. Oh, there's the interrupt though. Fury comes in. Okay, they were looking for a kill too. That didn't just happen. But yeah, they should still be able to grab this one. Now, obviously, since this was actually for just half a second, the discussion that we had there. Oh my god, they got the bottom bell tower too? Damn, not bad. 19-12. Obviously, there's nothing to blame on Belgium. They couldn't know that Tracer actually disconnected at this point. And therefore, totally legit kill. Unfortunate for Italy, but again, it's their own responsibility here. And yeah, nobody can blame Belgium for anything here. Absolutely legit, and they get, of course, through that, a bit of a ticket back into the game. They have bot lane control. I love how Zeratul just grabs this one. I like that. Yeah, he got the camp and then he escorted it in. Oh, a kill attempt against Camembert. That nearly worked out too. I love how at least Rega is having his back these days, but obviously there's only one Ancestral at a time, so he can't go for the second one as Li Ming homes in on Garish and finally takes him down here. But as we're standing, we're seeing them starting to jump in for additional kills, and there's the Jimmy kill. Rega on the run, and the dog is dead too, and it seems like we might see Jaina fall as well. There she goes. Alright, what to do with this? Maybe reclaim the bell tower at the bottom. They send Zeratul in the middle, that's understandable. Grabbing the experience here to make it to level 20 a bit quicker. They want to also get some pressure at the bot lane and just hope for the minions to take the bell tower down eventually, which is also going to happen, by the way. But if they can escort this in, that would mean 3 additional shots against the opponent's core, which of course then puts them into the single-digit range. Acid against the Fury topside. Altar spawning soonish. And that is just not working out. I'm a little bit flabbergasted that nobody really walked with the pumpkin camp. That's 3 shots that they could have had. I'm honest, I'm seriously shocked that nobody escorted this. I'm more so shocked that Garish doesn't give a fuck. Alright, finally moves in. But they're gonna defend this. Bottom is obviously going to get channeled, but I think they want to with Tyrande recapture this one first, which they do. But these are 3 shots that they could have had. Easily. And he mistimes it even. Did he? No, they got all 5. But it could be 3 more off the core, and those 3 matter, because that means that if boss is taken, it's literally over there. So it's really weird that they did not move 1 or 2 heroes with the pumpkin camps. All they had to do was destroy 1 minion wave, and it would have been an easy triple shot against the core. So definitely a missed opportunity for Italy here. They have level 20, 15 kills against 3, so they're heavily ahead. Storm talents are in their hands too, so that's pretty big. But let's see if they can actually follow through with that. I mean, you look over to Jaina and she is not even close to getting her ice block. Which is another problem. You have 5 against 3 bell towers. Only 4, yeah, well. It's obviously still also the boss up that so far no one has really looked at. But there's another attempt to go for some damage at the bot side. Now with Tarasha's in level 20. Li Ming is currently looking for the damage setup. Not getting that. And there's the flip, and there's the kill. Tracer is getting wrecked, and ETC is taking quite the beating too. Still has the mosh pit, but if they can keep the slow on him, uses the Bolt of the Storm to get out of harm's way there. But this could again turn it. Now we have level 10 abilities or level 20 abilities on both sides. Bell tower, I don't understand why they go, like, I would really recapture that bell tower first before I go for that camp here. I mean, they can do both. They can hold the camp and go for the bell tower. But this is something that you definitely want to get. Also, Death Wish is here, so we're talking about cooldown reduction. They get the camp, but the bell tower is still up. Can escort the minion waves and go in, but now they have to face the music on the altar. There's even a rotation topside. And they're making the play for the boss instead. They're letting the altar slide. It's only 3 shots fired. Could be 4, honestly. And with this, we're needing 16. With 4 shots taken over here. 2, 3. Yep. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. But I guess both of the bell towers at the bot lane as Dehaka falls are now going to be reclaimed by the red team. Dehaka dying is obviously a bit of a problem. It's a bit of a weird decision making that we have from both teams. I mean, first of all, I think Belgium could have easily reclaimed this one earlier on. And second of all, I'm still a bit... like, look at this. This is 3 shots now, right? This is literally the 3 that they let slide just a second ago. So that is just shocking. That, on the other hand, is a quick double kill. And they're looking for 3. Oh! And they barely don't get it. Fury was trying to jump in order to get that done. Couldn't. 54,000 damage for Zeratul and for Tracer. 36 on Jimmy, top damage dealer for the red team. And I guess Bell Tower in the mid lane is so low that they have an easy grab there. Ming is already with the help of Tyrande trying to put some damage onto the one at the bottom, but with this one still blocking every single minion wave, this is not gonna happen anytime soon. This one at least gets reclaimed. It's 4 against 4 shots, and this is a bad situation for Belgium. I mean, Altar's activating in 20 seconds, Jaina's down for another 20, can she even make it in time? A lot of distance to travel, and the only thing that's needed is a single altar being channeled through, and that would mean the 2-0 victory for Italy over Belgium. So, well, do the Spaghetti Boys take it? Belgium at this point, they have some awesome waffles back home, but I'm not sure if they can make the play here in Heroes of the Storm. Acid at this point was going deep for the interrupt. The problem is that he might actually get wrecked because of that. The stun connects and the Haka is down. Li Ming comes in, gets the kill. Camembert is low, but they get the kill against Zeratul. That makes it a 4 versus 4. They have a chance of winning that fight. I mean, they have to win that fight, but look at Camembert. Even with the heals of Rhaegar, he's incredibly low. In comes the interrupt. Tracer takes damage, but Rhaegar is down. And they get the kill against Jaina. This should be it. Yeah, of course. With Garrosh now dying too and Jimmy about to fall as well, this is going to be the end of the road here in this best of 3 series for Belgium. They lose their first group stage match against Italy. Of course, in this group of 4 teams, there are still a few more matches that they have. They're not out of this group by any means just yet. This is literally the start of the tournament, of the group stage. But this is the setup where Italy claims the 2-0 victory over Belgium and puts themselves at the head of the group. GG, and well played. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support, and see you guys next time.